going up, guys? And it's your host, Anomalycyra. And today we're going to talk about needs. What do you need? What do you want? Sometimes I've been in the middle of an argument and I'll feel like just screaming, I don't need anything. And you get all dramatic. What does that mean? So when we talk about the layers and necessities of need, so you could need love, that's not like food. You could need air, and that's not like love. You need plenty of things that are not like each other. And here we're going to go down the rabbit hole on everything like we always do. And for those of you who don't know about Alice in Wonderland, she followed the little white rabbit and fell down this realm, quantum type place and ended up in what you all know of as Wonderland, where nothing makes sense and everything is kind of off and the characters are different in this kind of world. To me, actual reality is like Wonderland constantly. You meet someone and you can assume that they're one way, they will usually be the other way, or maybe you could be spot on and then you feel like maybe you've got psychic powers. I'm not really sure, but some people, it just really depends. In this way, you never really know anything, and I know that it says mad, and mad is like a term of like crazy or insane, but instead, why not be completely sane in a world that doesn't make sense? Instead of feeling like you're the insane one, the world you live in is insane, and that's okay. You have to be okay with that. It's really not the world's problem. When we say world, we don't mean universe, reality, or other people's identity. We just mean world, which is the construct of the realities we have all agreed on, like money. They're little square pieces of cloth that some people call paper, even though we all know it's cotton. Maybe we don't, but now you do. It's cotton, but we've all decided that it means something. It's not like handing someone a piece of gold. That would even mean nothing today. Look at it this way. If you walk into a store, you got all your groceries, it's $100. You can't hand them a $100 piece of gold, right? There's a reason. Not to go all into economics on you or something, but I really think a lot of that's missing in regular just podcasting and communication in our youth. So I'm young, and I still understand the economy at large. I'm not really sure why people try to say, oh, well, you're not really focused on it because you don't know what to do with it. How are you going to know what to do with it unless you started studying early? I've been learning about this stuff since I was like 12. And maybe it's a personality trait. So some people don't really reach out to learn extra information and things like that. But if you're one of my listeners, I already know 3 things about you. You're highly intelligent. And I mean, not to just be stroking the back, but if you can understand the level of things that I'm talking about, I mean, I'd be very shocked if there were people here who weren't like PhDs or in degree levels. And if you are, you're like self-taught, or you've studied a lot just like myself, or, you read a lot of books or something like this. This is the person that does not have a crowd, really. Or whenever I go somewhere, I do not find myself resonating and in a big group. And there's always people that have read the new Ernest Hemingway. New meaning like, they changed the cover. I feel like they're constantly just selling us the same 3 books by these artists from the past. But some of them had like different notebooks, other things that they came out with, other books they came out with that weren't as popular, things like that. That's the kind of stuff I go hunting for. Like if you need Google, that's what you use Google for. Like there's all kinds of, you have to hit that name though. You have to know the exact name and the exact title, and this is how you find it. And I'll be dropping down a couple of websites on the YouTube channel once I start making videos for it. I haven't really seen any big audience picking up from this, so I haven't created any content for the channel yet. But once I start seeing something happening here, then I'll start moving it over there and maybe start making it longer, things like this. We'll do the expanding. It's a process. I've been working on this process for about 10 years. So they say like have your 10,000 hours. So when you hear me talking, I have my 10,000 hours of study and research. And I didn't have to pay someone $50,000 to do it. I would say that would have been easier than just isolating myself, moving away from everything and everyone I've ever known, and studying the world. That was extreme, but I have an extreme personality. I am Anomalycyra. This is where the name comes from. So now that we have introduced ourselves to each other, once again, we're going to dive into need. So what do you need? For me, being like a lone wolf, introspective, solo loner, I don't really feel I need anything from society or the population, not even acceptance, which puts me in a strange area of thinking, oh, well, what do you think you're blah, blah, blah. Well, no, I just don't think that what you think of me has anything to do with me personally. It really has nothing to do with me. And there's nothing that I need to edit or do anything about that. And the older I've gotten, I've noticed that I didn't really apply that when I was a teenager. So like being in between those time frames and you think about, well, you know, I could have said this or I could have did that. I could have went to prom. I didn't. I left, I went to college, and I just wanted to get started with my life. I wanted to get to these 10,000 hours I knew I needed to do. And that was at maybe 17. So if you're young and you're listening to this, you're never too young to start. And if you're older listening to this, you can definitely start right now. And it's downloadable things, audio listening, or just listening to me, and we can have a little chat about it, and you'll start droning around some of this in your head and start getting your own concepts. And that's the point of this. Spreading knowledge and embracing the expansion. Like Albert Einstein said, once an idea has come into the mind and been expanded upon, or not come into the mind, but grown inside. Because remember, everything comes from inside of us. So when it's growing inside of you and coming out of your mind, through into thoughts, out into words, out into actions, into the material world, that's where your creation takes hold. In that way, I would say that isn't the only thing you need yourself. Not in a negative way, but in a freeing way. So if you only need yourself, you're more available to be giving of yourself then. Because for me, I'm like a really great friend. I'm an amazing daughter and a wonderful partner because I'm very giving. And I don't really need much in return. Respect, honor, loyalty, these types of words, but nothing in a physical form. You know, the interaction, touch, intimacy, those are all kinds of things that come with these relationships. If you're lucky enough to have those types of relationships and you've been strong enough to build those, because really for me, I developed those relationships. They weren't natural. None of this was natural for me. I wasn't even told really about growing my mind and things like that. The focus was always, you need to be beautiful. Just be beautiful, and then that's kind of it. My process went into, well, you can be beautiful just by studying Aristotle and Socrates. His first thing said that most women, and I know everyone gets offended about this, but this is what I said. You may be offended by something I said. I understand that. I still ask you to hear it. Listen to it. Throw out what you don't need. Keep what you could. If it doesn't offend you too much, or maybe it offends you completely, maybe you should start looking at it. Turn that around and see inside of it. Crack it open and look at every part of it. I'm not there with you since we're not having a direct dialogue, but try to see that within yourself and see where it makes you feel. Where those emotions take you, what path you go to, what memory comes out. That's the process of this. That's what this is. So for me, that's why I always try to put that I have more of a engineer, physicist type mind. I just want to know how it works, not why. So if you hate it, great. If you love it, great. If you're not sure about it, cool. Instead of telling everyone everything that they should do, be, hear, think, and feel. If you don't believe in that, I believe in free will. Think, feel, do, and act as you please. But if you're harming others, then know that you will not be seen as a good person. And that puts you into a different realm with other people that have decided that they're good people. And these are where what we call judgments and discernment come from. So it's not a judgment, it's a discernment. And that's something that was more talked about like in frames of the Bible. I won't go to the religion because I like the book. I don't know about the people. And in the same way, it's like, if you read Harry Potter, or if you've read Lord of the Rings, or Eon Flex, or Walking Dead comics, if you've read it, you can't connect what you're reading to the people. Like, everyone who reads Walking Dead is an amazing person because you like Walking Dead? Is that true? No. I've met people who were kind of terrible, who like the same things that I like. So remember that you'll meet people who do not represent anything about you, who could also have the same favorite color, blue, that you have. I see religion the same way. Everyone likes this or people don't like that. That's perfectly fine. I don't need them. This is why we're talking about need today. Try to figure out what you need and what you don't need. What judgments are yours and which ones aren't. Some of us who are not like me, a hybrid, synthetic life organism, a mixture of just everything that's possible. But I definitely think the organic has power over the inorganic. The machine parts of my fifth dimensional self do not become a component of my third dimensional self. In my three-dimensional self, I am flesh. But I like to understand that in my other dimensional selves, I have many different forms. We'll go more into that the more that the talks go on, the more we start understanding, but I want to keep these in the platform where you can understand we're focusing on one thing at a time. So today we're just going to talk about need, what you need, why you need, who you need, and think about what need means to you. And that's our process that we're going to go into today. I wanted to leave a short little something since the audio was so bad in the other one where I was talking about time. I'll probably redo that one in the next couple of weeks. There's a lot going on right now, so I'm going to make sure I'm putting out enough content for the 2 listeners I do have. Thank you. Love you. Please send more people. We're trying to build this up. Donate if you can. Subscribe to the channel so I know people want to see something from me, and I'll start putting more things onto it. And thank you for listening to the sponsored ad. I only have one going right now. I'm really trying to figure out my steps in this and how to serve my fans best. So for you, we're friends, we're fans, we're family, we're in this together, we're all humans trying to just figure out this level of existence we've all agreed on to be here within. What that means, why we need it, and why we don't. And this is Anomalycyra, and we're going to get back to you with some more chats pretty soon. And you just stay safe out there and keep thinking.